Portuguese, so just select your preferred language under the interpretation functionality. There's also, you will note, a Q&A box, so please really feel free to drop your questions or simply raise your hand during the presentation session and we'll respond to you. I now would like to invite IRENA's Director General, Mr. Francesco La Camera, for his opening remarks. Mr. Director General, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rabia. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. A warm welcome to each of you as join us for today's launch of the IRENA Global Atlas for Renewable Energy version 4.1. Reliable data has always been at the core of IRENA missions to advance the global deployment of renewable energy. Global access to data is crucial for countries striving to achieve their renewable energy development targets. And this aligns perfectly with the goals of IRENA's Global Atlas for Renewable Energy initiative. Not only does it aim to assist countries in realizing their renewable energy potential, it also helps facilitate and inform decisions pertaining to project planning and development. The initiative central platform, the Global Atlas, stands as a freely accessible online repository, uniting a global network of over 40 contributors, including research institutions, private enterprise, and international organizations. This platform is valuable for assessing renewable energy opportunities and acquiring a thorough understanding of a region of national renewable energy potential. It also promotes data sharing and drives the deployment of all forms of renewable energy. Launched in 2013 with a focus on solar and wind maps, the Global Atlas, in its evolution to version 4.0 by 2021, expanded the scope to integrate all renewable resource datasets. In the latest version, the 4.1, new datasets and features have been introduced. The updated datasets include meteorological data from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the NASA, and the European Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, ACMWF, as well as zone for investment opportunity for solar PV and wind project development by IRENA and others. Moreover, the Global Atlas has been instrumental in assisting various renewable resource assessment activities, including zoning analysis, site assessment, solar city, and bioenergy simulators. These activities have played a pivotal role in advancing the progression of Global Atlas initiatives to support countries across the Gulf Cooperation Council, Latin America, small island developed states, and sub-Saharan Africa. The progress made in this initiative showcases IRENA's unwavering dedication to member states as they push towards a sustainable energy future. It highlights the importance of international collaboration in the field of resource assessment. To conclude, I would like to thank all the public and private data providers and partners for their continued support in making the Global Atlas a unique platform. Your contribution is invaluable. With that, I'd like to open the launch of the Global Atlas for Renewable Energy 4.1 by handing it over to Rabia. Thank you all for joining us today. To you, Rabia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Director General. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleague, it's really my privilege to facilitate the discussion today with very prominent experts and key users of the platform. As mentioned by the Director General, the Global Atlas serves as a free online platform for all renewable resources and related ancillary data sets. So just a little bit of history. Since 2012, IRENA has encouraged collaboration with a global network of research institutions, academia, private sector, international organizations, who have shared their high-resolution data sets to construct an up-to-date platform. Now, in 2021, the platform was completely revamped and included new renewable resource data sets. And today, we're really delighted to announce that IRENA has expanded on the previous version. We offer now additional data sets and features that provide really invaluable insights. So the notable progress of this initiative really underscores IRENA's dedication to enhance and address the evolving needs of its member states as they transition towards a sustainable energy future. So on behalf of IRENA, extend our gratitude to all data providers and contributors to the Global Atlas, in particular, CENER of Spain. We're grateful to the Food Agriculture Organization, FAO, to ANU, the Australian National University, for the pumped hydro energy storage data, the World Resource Institute for the Global Water Risk Atlas, and the Global Power Plant Database for Renewables. Also, thanks to the National Aeronautic and Space Administration, NASA, and the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecast for granting access to meteorological reanalysis data. I would like to also thank the very productive and dedicated expert in my team, that's Sirbat Ula, Mohamed Nababa, Sujan Atikari, as well as the two consultants, Luis Calisto and Joel Silva, with the great lead that we have, Iman Garbouche, who has been working, all of them have been working very hard on this. So with this, I will give the floor to Iman to present this new form of the Global Atlas 4.1. Iman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rabia. Ladies and gentlemen and colleagues, so since its inception, the Global Atlas for Renewable Energy Initiative has been a crucial source of data for policymakers, project developers, and the global community. The initiative has provided the Global Atlas platform as a unique source for renewable resources and ancillary data sets, and has developed online tools such as the Bioenergy and Solar City Simulator, and also country-level analysis such as the zoning and site assessment to evaluate the viability or identify opportunities for renewable projects. And these assessments contribute to the country's ability to plan and implement renewable projects, to expand their grid infrastructure, adapt their renewable energy goals, and also increase their NDC's targets. So in addition to the extensive collection of high-quality data sets, the Global Atlas platform include user-friendly visualization with an easy-to-use catalog interface for data exploration. It has a specialized mapping tool to identify zones with high renewable potential, a data download option to download data sets for an in-depth analysis. And also it has an interesting features, which is the interoperability features to integrate data from different platforms for meaningful comparison. Collectively, these features with the data sets provide valuable information for energy planners and modelers, empowering them to make informed decisions. So the Global Atlas platform relies on the commitments of many countries, which continuously provide technical and financial support to the cause. This support is also amplified by a global network of over 40 international partners and contributors who play a key role in the development of high-quality datasets. The new renewable resources and ancillary datasets integrated in the Global Atlas 4.1 include, first, the long-term annual and monthly average solar datasets developed by Meteotest. We have the pumped hydro energy storage developed by the Australian National University, the Global Agro-Ecological Zoning version 4 developed by FAO. We have also an additional information regarding the tidal velocity occurrence provided by Novelties, and the Global Water Risk Atlas developed by the World Resource Institute. We have also updated some of the ancillary datasets, including the global datasets for protected area, which is, of course, developed by the UN Environmental Programme. These datasets are accessible for users to visualize and also to download, subject to the agreement with the data provider. Expanding on the previous version, the Global Atlas 4.1 has been enhanced with the new features to meet the user needs. So first, we have the multi-point info picker, which here was added, and it helps a user basically to retrieve data at various locations on the map. This functionality empowers users to make meaningful comparison across different locations. In response to the user feedbacks, significant enhancements to the point query functionality has been made. So now users can retrieve the annual and monthly renewable resource datasets at specific locations in graphical representation. Additionally, descriptive statistics of the annual and monthly solar and wind datasets has been incorporated in the platform at the country level. So this provides users with comprehensive insights into the resource distribution across the country for, of course, specific analytical needs. We have also introduced the feature that enables users to request the download of historical meteorological reanalysis datasets for their planning needs. And these data are ERA5 from ECMWF and MERA2 from NASA. This functionality is made possible through the services of Vortex company. So lastly, zones of investment opportunities for developing utility-scale solar PV and wind projects has been integrated in the platform. This is a comprehensive dataset that not only identify the best location for project development, but also provide their techno-economic attributes, including the typical generation profile, installed capacity, annual generation capacity factor, and levelized cost of energy. This dataset is available for Africa and partly for South America and Southeast Asia, and it will be extended to all countries early next year. So the mapping of these opportunities is conducted using zoning analysis, which is a country-level analytical approach developed under the Global Atlas Initiative to assist countries in their planning for transmission and generation development. So the approach first identifies the optimal zones for project development, and it is conducted using GIS-based multi-criteria decision analysis that consider different criteria like resources, topography, power transmission lines, and road networks. It also calculates for each of the identified zones the previously mentioned techno-economic attributes, and the calculation is conducted using the meteorological reanalysis data from NASA and ECMWF. We also take into account the technology-specific parameters for the country environmental conditions and the country financial attributes, including the capital investment, operational cost, and discount rates. So we shall now present a short demonstration of the Global Atlas 4.1.
The IRENA Global Atlas for Renewable Energy serves as a free online data repository and assessment platform that assists policymakers and investors in exploring renewable energy opportunities, and for the public to better understand the potential of renewables in any region or country. The Global Atlas is a unique source for renewable resources and ancillary datasets. IRENA is committed to continuously updating and expanding its content to help countries meet their renewable energy targets. To explore this data, click on the Layer button, type the dataset name on the search field and press Intro to get your results. You can add this layer to your map or download it. Data providers are encouraged to contact us if they want to contribute to this initiative to benefit the renewable energy community. The multi-point info picker is one of the global atlas functionalities that allows users to visualize and compare data from multiple locations. Click on the burger menu located on the right side. Select the multi-point info picker tool. And now you can click on several locations to see the results. Data will be displayed on the different layers from your map. You can see the values or even delete or reset locations. Our platform now provides users with rapid and easy access to data for each resource via graphical representations that convey annual and monthly variations. Click on Point Query, select a renewable, and choose a location on the map. Then click on Get Data button, and on the resource panel, you can explore the results. You can choose between annual or monthly scale. These data can be displayed for all renewables. Data can be downloaded by clicking on the Download button on the right side corner. As part of ongoing efforts to improve access to data and respond to users' feedback, the platform displays descriptive statistics characterizing the resources for any selected country. Click on Point Query. Select a renewable and choose a location on the map. Then click on Get Data button, and on the resource panel, you can explore the results. On the Country tab, you can choose between annual or monthly scale. This data can be displayed for all renewables and countries. Data can be downloaded by clicking on the Download button on the right side corner. IRENA has also incorporated ERA5 and MERA2 meteorological reanalysis datasets into Global Atlas to better support the energy sector. Click on Point Query, select solar or wind, and choose a location on the map. Then click on the Get Data button, and on the resource panel, you can check the description of the available meteorological data. By clicking on the Request button, you will get a notification via email with the data. Remember that you need to be logged in as Global Atlas user in order to process this request. The Global Atlas capabilities have expanded to include the locations of highly attractive zones for investment in utility-scale solar PV and onshore wind project development, along with their corresponding techno-economic parameters. Click on the Burger menu located on the right side. Select the Investment Opportunities tool. And now you can click on a location to see the results. Results can be displayed on different scales. By selecting a portion of the graph, you can zoom in. To zoom out, you just need to double-click on the graph. Period can be also selected. Data can be displayed for solar PV and wind. Values will be displayed on the Attributes tab. To read further information, click on the Information button on the bottom right corner. To download data, you can click on the Download button on the top right corner.
So these are the new datasets and features included in the Global Atlas 4.1. Our next step will be to continue the introduction of new features and provide regular updates of the datasets, including the expansion of the zones for investment opportunities for solar PV and wind projects, of course, for more countries. Data providers and map developers are invited, of course, to contribute to the Global Atlas initiative to benefit the renewable energy community. Your feedbacks and suggestions, of course, they are highly valuable, so please feel free to contact us, and also to check the announcement in the updated section of the Global Atlas, where you will find the newly introduced datasets and features. So in conclusion, we can say that the Global Atlas for Renewable Energy Initiative, or the Global Atlas platform, has been instrumental in providing the global community with valuable renewable resources and ancillary datasets. The platform has played a crucial role in facilitating the project planning and development, and we remain committed to sharing these activities through bilateral engagement and workshop. That's conclude this presentation. Thank you all for joining this webinar, and I will hand it over to Rabia. Thank you. To you, Rabia.
Thank you very much, Iman. Really great job. And now it's time to invite the experts for the panel discussion. Again, the audience, please feel free to participate by asking questions or raising your hand, or in the chat box. We will gather the questions throughout the webinar. And so very quickly, I'll introduce the panel. We have Mr. Javier Nicuesa Chacon, sorry for not pronouncing it right, who is the head of the Computing and Software Development Service at CENER, the National Renewable Energy Center. We have Dr. Suleiman Bert, Director General, Renewable Energy Agency of Mali. We have Dr. Chiara Cagnazzo, who is the Sectoral Information System Manager at the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasts, ECMWF. And finally, Dr. Stefano Ferretti, Earth Observation Exploitation Engineer at the European Space Agency. Thank you very much for being with us. And in the first round of questions, I'm just mostly going to ask about your feedback on the achievement, the progress that was made through the Global Atlas platform. And Javier, my first question is to you, because you've been involved actually with the Global Atlas since 2012. We would like to know how you assess the progress made over the years, and how you think it does meet the needs of the global community in terms of data sets and functionalities. Javier, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Raya. You pronounced very well my name, so thank you very much. So, Maurice, yes. Thank you very much to IRENA for allowing me participating in this panelist. And you're right. I'm probably one of the oldest in this panel. So yes, I am here from the very beginning of the project. It was mentioned from the very beginning, and it's awesome how it is growing up. For me, there are three sides that I would like to remark. One, of course, is the differences and the progress in the design of the user the user interface. How it's been, from my point of view, much more user-friendly, and allows users finding these features and new functionalities much easier. And the second part, I remember with the huge effort that was to find data sets. Data is a very valuable thing that the industry likes to own. It's not easy to share them. So the effort from IRENA to get this data being shared through the platform, I think it was a very huge effort. But now I can see that the effort has been focused in two directions. One is the quality of this data, which I think the effort has been huge for Amen and her staff. And second one is how it has been widely grow up. I mean, as Francesco said, it started only with PV and wind data, probably because it was the mainly used data and the more, usually shared. But now you can user will find not only wind and PV data, but different resources, hydro, and I think it makes the platform in a very interesting tool nowadays. Yeah, that's well for my 3 points remarkable in the news and in this 4.1 release.
Thank you so much, Javier. And it's really nice to have somebody who's been here since the beginning to evaluate sort of the progress and the usefulness of it. So thank you very much. And I'll now go to Suleiman. It's really a well-known fact that that Africa holds amazing renewable energy potential. And as we've seen in the presentation now, the Global Atlas includes now zones of investment opportunity for the development of solar and wind projects. I just wanted to have your opinion of how critical this kind of data is for project planning, and really to expedite a little bit implementation of renewable energy in Mali and maybe the broader region. So Suleiman, the floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup. Je remercie tous ceux qui sont présents à ce panel. Et ça me fait plaisir de participer à ce panel. J'ai apprécié beaucoup le travail fait. Nous avons participé à l'Atlas pour le Mali. Et je pense que tout projet de développement commence par la connaissance des ressources en énergie renouvelable. Et pour nos pays africains, nous qui voulons développer plus les énergies renouvelables, car nous utilisons beaucoup de ressources, c'est très important de connaître les sources d'énergie renouvelable et de connaître aussi les sites favorables là où on pourra développer les grands projets. C'est non seulement si nous avons une cartographie de ce genre, ça nous permettra d'attirer des investisseurs. Et je vois que le travail que l'IRENA vient de faire répond à cela. Donc, ça nous permet de connaître dans chaque zone à combien on peut produire si on fait des investissements, à combien on peut produire, à combien on peut vendre pour que ça soit rentable. Donc, cette exploration à l'aide de ce programme qu'on peut faire, ça nous permettra d'économiser beaucoup sur les études. C'est une fois qu'on peut faire le benchmarking en trouvant les sites favorables sans passer par des bureaux de consultation qui nous coûtent trop cher. Donc, ça nous permettra de diminuer et de faire aussi le bon choix des sites d'énergie renouvelable, des centrales que nous voulons développer dans nos pays. Aussi, les investisseurs, en regardant une telle carte, ils peuvent savoir là où c'est favorable d'investir. Et comme ça, nous pourrons attirer beaucoup d'investisseurs si nous avons des cartes de ce genre dans nos pays. Donc, moi, je pense que c'est très important pour nous et que ce genre de programme nous permettra d'optimiser les investissements et aussi d'attirer les investisseurs dans nos pays. Et aussi, j'ai vécu les cas de zonage. On avait fait une étude d'exploration avec l'IRENA, avec votre laboratoire. Donc, je vous ai dit que les études nous ont, c'est pas cette année, c'est il y a 2 ou 3 ans de cela. Ces études, avant, les promoteurs, ils venaient comme ça, chacun proposait ses prix. Et c'est eux-mêmes qui faisaient les études, ils nous proposaient les prix avec leurs études. Donc, c'est difficile d'apprécier. Mais avec l'équipe de l'IRENA, on avait fait une étude d'exploration de ce genre, donc de quelques sites. Donc, ça nous a permis de trouver un prix optimum, un prix optimum que nous avons trouvé que c'est le prix moyen pour notre pays. Et du coup, on a mis tous les investisseurs à se caler à ce prix. Et effectivement, ça a été le bon prix. Donc, ça nous a permis de négocier avec les partenaires pour développer les centrales. Donc, ça nous a orientés dans les négociations. Donc, ce genre d'études peut permettre aussi aux États de prendre des décisions, de les orienter dans la prise de décision dans les grands projets d'énergie renouvelable. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Suleiman. Ça fait vraiment grand plaisir d'entendre votre témoignage, parce qu'en effet, parmi les barrières que certains pays ont dans le développement des énergies renouvelables, c'est tout simplement déjà les évaluations premières de zoning, etc. Donc, c'est un vrai plaisir et merci pour votre collaboration. I will turn now to Chiara from ECMWF. Your institution provides is leader in providing global meteorological data and services. And we have used in the Global Atlas historical climate data to help countries assess their renewable potential, also including investment opportunities for solar PV and wind projects. We wanted to hear from you about the synergy between the energy and meteorological sectors or fields, and also at the same time how you evaluate the current collaboration that we have with you. Thank you, Chiara. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Rabia. Thank you for inviting me. And it was also very nice to hear about how important are those data with the example that was just provided a second ago. So ECMWF, as you said, is this research institution and also an operational center that provides meteorological information and weather forecasts also to its member states. And ECMWF is also managing this Copernicus program, and the data that are behind the Climate Atlas are provided as open access and free information thanks to this Copernicus European program that provides access to quality information completely open and free. And one important element is that those data are really based on the latest science. So the latest research is included in those products. And indeed, the data set that's behind the meteorological data that are behind the Atlas, that is ERA 5 data set, this reanalysis, is actually one of the most relevant data sets that are used into our portfolio of products. And one of the reasons is that, of course, it comes with its quality that you were mentioning, and it comes with open access, and it comes also by providing information everywhere in the world. So you can think this data set is really an integrator of billions of observations all around the world and provides this reconstruction of the past climate from the 1940 to today. And I've seen that in your atlas, you're started to use the data after the 1979, just to let you know that there is also a backward extension. So as you were mentioning, the energy sector is really facing these significant challenges at a global scale, and those challenges encompass a various wide range of issues related to production, distribution, consumption. And this is why this sector needs especially reliable information about the current climate, the past climate, the weather data, but also looking at a possible evolution of the climate system. And just to provide a couple of examples on how this data are used in the energy sector in different collaborations that we have at ECMWF and within the Copernicus program. So this historical data, this reconstruction of the climate data are used, for example, to understand the variability of those quantities. For example, as you were mentioning, solar, precipitation, temperature, and wind conditions. For example, you know very well that year 2021 in Europe was, for example, characterized by very low wind conditions, very unusual kind of meteorological conditions repeated during the year. So monitoring those events is crucial and fundamental for the energy sector. Then if you take the same information and you downscale and you go very high resolution, then, for example, the wind industry sector is using those data at much higher resolution to, for example, monitor and operate onshore and offshore farms, wind farms. This is just another example. But also those data are used, as you also were mentioning, to find which are the most attractive sites to meet requirements between demand and production somehow. And I've also seen that in one of the questions that are now going online, so it's very fast, one was related to availability of data. So one question was, are you providing information about the wind onshore and offshore? But well, if you go to the meteorological kind of information, yes, this database, the ERA5 reanalysis, meteorological products are available everywhere, globally, on land and on the ocean, with the same quality information associated. Of course, there would be a lot to say about how, climate and meteorological information is relevant for the energy sector. And there are many examples when you can really demonstrate how this information can be relevant in the different contexts of decision-making context. But probably I would need much more time.
Satellites, we will have 4 new Earth Explorer scientific missions coming up in the next few years, as well as we will have the Copernicus expanded missions. So we will go from 6 Copernicus missions to 12 Copernicus missions with new sensors and data coming out of it. So the intention of the collaboration is to work together with IRENA and its partners to understand what are the actual needs, both related to existing renewables technologies and future ones. And I can further elaborate later on this. So it's really working hand in hand and identifying these user needs and trying to address them with the existing or future data sets that will come up.
Thank you, Stefano. And that brings me actually, what we said, to the second round of questions, which is getting a bit further into how we can further explore, put more collaboration and enhance the Global Atlas platform further. So maybe I'll start again with Javier, and ask him, given all his experience, what do you think, how we could enhance and expand the scope of the Global Atlas further in order to make it even more useful to users?
Yeah, first of all, I forgot in my latest intervention to tell about some point I think it's very interesting, because the users will find data through the Global Atlas, but for me it's important that they will find data sets like the profile generator, that they are not only data, but they are processed data, which it's giving this added value to the data. It's kind of, this difference between data and information. And I think it's very important to remark that it's more than the data, is this expertise and knowledge that in this case, I know IRENA has worked hard on them, and it's giving a very important, from my point of view, value to this data, to get this information from that. But looking forward, this is something that you users can get from the Global Atlas. Well, I'm quite involved right now in some there's a technology out there that is being used, but the industry, of course, for energy industry, renewable energy industry, which is the artificial intelligence. And I think that this will be a very challenging point to add some functionalities, features that could allow the use of some models through the platform of the Global Atlas, let's say from next Global Atlas 5 point, for instance. I know it sounds very challenging, but I think Global Atlas has been very challenging from the very beginning. So I would like someday to see how users could upload some data, and with pretty well generalizing models, how to use them. And with not running model, but with pre-trained models, using the experience and the data you said of preparing it from other sites. I would like to see someday this kind of functionalities added to the Global Atlas platform. I think it will allow the Global Atlas going towards this same path that the technology is going toward nowadays. So I just I say that, and because someone will take it and think about it. It will be, from my point of view, very interesting. Yes.
Thank you so much, Javier. Can I ask when you finish to mute yourself, Stefano, Javier as well, I think. I'm not sure if you're muted or not, but I've heard their noises. Thanks a lot. I'm sure you're going to have these discussions with the team. It's not my field of specialization, so thank you very much for the ideas, and I hope that we can somehow integrate. But I think that the point you made about the generation profiles indeed is a very important one. I think that's a major contribution of this new functionality for the Global Atlas. And I'm going to go now to Suleiman. You already pointed out how important it was to have these sort of initial assessments, etc., that it was helpful because it sort of reduces some of the costs of estimating the potential, etc. But there is also in the Global Atlas this Solar City Simulator, which has been very successful. We've done many cities, and that really helps the decision making. And I was wondering whether you had some thoughts on tools like the Solar City Simulator in terms of really reducing risks in the project inception in your country, and whether you think there are other improvements that could be introduced in the Global Atlas that would be more specifically support the decision makers.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Je pense aussi Solar City, c'est des programmes qui sont utiles pour nos pays et qui sont actuellement, c'est déjà le programme que nous voulons développer. Comme vous savez, le monde traverse actuellement une crise de pétrole. Le prix du carburant a beaucoup augmenté. Aujourd'hui, il y a certains de nos pays, particulièrement le Mali, nous sommes en déficit énergétique à cause du prix du carburant parce que nous avons des groupes que nous n'arrivons pas à mettre en marche à cause du manque de carburant. Donc, c'est très important pour un pays comme le Mali de développer des toits solaires et pour diminuer la consommation aussi, pour économiser dans le carburant. Donc, c'est ce genre de programme que nous développons actuellement. Comme vous avez dit, ici, nous avons des évaluations qui nous permettent de monter des grands projets et qu'on peut proposer non seulement à l'État, mais aussi aux bailleurs de fonds. Ça nous permettra de surmonter la crise que nous traversons actuellement. Donc, les plateformes, que je souhaite dans les plateformes, je souhaite que la plateforme soit dynamique en ce sens qu'on peut actualiser les données, aussi sur d'autres données qu'on peut les intégrer facilement et que ce soit une plateforme aussi accessible à beaucoup de gens et qu'il y ait des programmes de promotion, c'est-à-dire des disséminations de ce programme parce qu'on peut le faire. Monsieur l'IRENA et les spécialistes sont au courant et que les autres ne sont pas au courant, alors que ces genres de plateformes sont aussi utiles que pour l'État, que pour les décideurs, mais aussi pour les investisseurs, les gens qui cherchent des projets, qui montent des projets. Donc, il faut faire de telle sorte qu'il y ait plus de promotion de la plateforme, que beaucoup puissent l'utiliser et qu'on puisse en tirer profit. Merci.
Merci, Suleiman. Désolée, j'aurais dû poser ma question en français. Merci. Et le Solar City Simulator, je pense, ça a été vraiment très utile pour énormément de villes, surtout dans les pays en développement où il y a moins de ressources pour faire ce genre d'estimation. Donc, merci. Chiara, to you now again. So as everybody mentioned, I guess the accurate forecasting is really essential to optimize production and distributions. So we wanted to ask you what you think the challenges are, or that you foresee in supporting producers and operators in optimizing the system, they reduce the cost, contribute to a more sustainable energy future, and to what extent our collaboration could work, or in this matter, in which way we could collaborate further, basically. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the question. So I would say that my first answer to the question is that it depends also on the timescale and the area. If you are thinking, for example, in areas like Europe, where there is a high share of renewables in the total energy consumed today, and there is also a strong policy context. So the need of having information across the timescales is really crucial. So you have really to connect the past climate, the current climate, but also to take a look at the future evolution of climate across different timescales, whether next seasons ahead as well as long-term ahead. So, for example, in terms of operations and maintenance of the existing systems, these short timescales using weather data is very important to predict network faults, extreme weather events, power outages. And this includes also the possibility to apply to events such as maintenance and delivering warnings to the consumers. If you look more at the mid-term planning, and maybe you're mostly looking at traders in this case, so it's just information about season ahead of planning and supply and demand. Whereas in the long term, you need information about this future climate evolution related, for example, to extreme events, how they change in terms of frequency, severity, in order to ensure like resilience of the network assets in a changing climate, but also updating the standards when the energy system changes. So this is an example for Europe, where you were mentioning those example for Africa, for example, where in that case you have much less share of renewables, and in this case you are mostly looking at the enormous potential for development. In this case, I would suggest as an expert of the climate that you really rely on this very good description of the past climate, as you are doing already with this huge set of data that you are providing, where in this case you need to have a very, very good characterization of the hourly, daily, seasonal variability that is crucial for those second exercise. So here there are many challenges. And so the challenge is not only to understand how the current energy system, which are the challenges that is facing in terms of climate and weather, but also to understand how this will change under future climate change scenarios, because we know that climate is changing, is not staying the same over time, and is changing in a different manner and at different rates all over the world. And this has many different challenges. So probably my vision for a long-term collaboration with IRENA is really to sit together and provide this, co-define together a kind in an operational and reliable manner, an integrated energy climate system, where the climate and weather information and the energy information are completely coupled together. And of course, this can again be used in those many different contexts. You have to do it with authoritative and reliable data. It is absolutely crucial. And this is why climate services or research institutions like the ones that ICNWF is there also to provide really good quality data on the part of the climate and the weather. So having this integrated view would be very beneficial at different times, not only for the past climate, where monitoring is very important, but also for the future evolution of the climate. So my suggestion is to think together if we can go into this direction.
Thank you very much, Chiara. I hope that's what we'll be doing. And Stefano, you basically focus on developing Earth observation solutions, and we are focusing on supporting the energy transition. So maybe now, you said that you'll speak about it a bit later, so maybe this partnership can lead to the development of joint applications that support renewable project planning and development. So do you think that's the case, and how can that be done?
Yeah, thanks for also this second question or comment. What I can say is that in addition to what has been already done, also working together, we have started in the last couple of years some research and development activities. One is, for example, dedicated to marine technologies, so ocean renewable energy, which is quite, I would say, a new field, at least if we consider it a large scale. We are there combining GNSS data together with Earth observation data, so there is also some new element of combination of space data, together with some dedicated center on Earth. One is EMIC in the north of Scotland, the European Marine Energy Center. Another one is Fundy in Canada, which is also part of the European member states, European Space Agency member states. Another case is the one of wind offshore production. So we have been looking at blade erosions due to rain. And we have been also working on some research and development activity to identify weather windows when operations at sea can be run, especially on floating offshore platforms. So in addition to the traditional products that we see, we are also a little bit testing new solutions that could eventually be integrated in the future also in the Global Atlas. And we have continuous and ongoing discussions with your teams at IRENA in order to plan these R&D activities in the best possible way. I think that's my immediate answer, and then I may add some additional elements later on what we're doing also vis-a-vis best practices with the more traditional renewable sectors.
Please go ahead, Stephanie. Just go on. Stefano, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So starting a few years back, for example, we have worked together with you, with your team, exploiting GOCE data. This was an Earth Explorer mission measuring basically the gravity of the Earth. And this data was exploited to look at also geothermal energy production. That mission is over. But the good news is that we have a new mission which is being finalized at the moment. It will be called the MAGIC, and it will increase and improve the products for mapping the gravity gradients on planet Earth. And so we can expect also future collaboration with IRENA in that domain, exploiting also geothermal energy as an additional product. Finally, what I can say is that we have launched very recently, it's actually currently open, an invitation to tender related to solar energy and to wind energy. So in this case, we are asking both the renewable energy sector industry together with the Earth observation applications industry to come together and basically to identify what are the best products, the best applications and services available internationally, so at global level, for these two specific sectors. And in parallel, we as ESA, we are also setting up agreements with the renewable energy industries in order to, let's say, collect their requirements, their operational needs, and trying to really create a portfolio of solutions, of the best practice solutions for both sectors. And the idea is that IRENA will be part of this activity as a key stakeholder. And so you will be able to also guide us in the next couple of years within these two main activities in also making sure that any output of the project can then later on being picked up and integrated into future versions of the Global Atlas. So that's a little bit the idea of the collaboration. Thanks.
Excellent, thank you so much. These are great news, and all efforts at collaborating are really very welcome. I'm going to ask each one of you in a few minutes to just tell us what key messages you think the audience should take away from this webinar. And maybe you can sort of tailor it to the kind of work, of course, that you're doing, or a geography, or a type of expertise. But basically, what would you like the audience to take away from this? And then I will kindly ask Iman to wrap up and give us a conclusion and basically close the webinar. But first, really, I'm looking forward to hearing from you in terms of the takeaways from this webinar, but in general, the work that we're doing to promote greater deployment of renewables. So, Javier.
Yes, thank you very much, Flavia. Well, for me, this webinar is one of the points that the users should, or the audience should have into account, because I see that IRENA is making a very big effort to share all this information, to keep on with the development of the platform. We all know that Global Atlas is not the only digital platform available online that IRENA shares with the rest of people, but being since 2012, it's still alive. Today we are all here because it's all alive. We have seen how many new features, new functionalities, new data with a very high quality is available through this platform. So I think this should be the point that the audience should take out from here. It's a very big and huge effort, and it's a very, very today's product, which they will find if they still keep on using it. Yeah, this is for me the main point that I would like to remark here. Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity that you give me.
Thank you, Javier. Suleiman, again, maybe for the translators, what are the main takeaways from this webinar and in general the work that we're doing in this field?
On m'entend maintenant? C'est bon?
Oui,
okay.
C'est bon. Si, Suleiman.
Je pense que la plateforme est la bienvenue. Et ce que j'ai oublié de dire, même cette plateforme, quand nous avons une plateforme mondiale comme ça qui nous permet de connaître les ressources, les différentes ressources dans différentes, pas des ressources renouvelables, dans différentes parties du monde, particulièrement en Afrique, si on a une plateforme comme ça nous permettra aussi d'orienter nos politiques régionales. Vous savez qu'en Afrique, l'Afrique est divisée en régions. Par exemple, en Afrique, on a le WAP, West African Power Pool, donc qui essaie de développer toutes les ressources dans cette région et d'interconnecter les pays entre eux. Donc, une plateforme comme ça permettra à une telle organisation de s'orienter, savoir que, par exemple, au Mali, il faut produire du solaire, en Côte d'Ivoire, c'est l'hydro, et ainsi de suite. Et au Sénégal, c'est le offshore qu'il faut développer. Donc, ça permettra d'orienter les gens dans ce genre de projet et de savoir où il faut investir plus dans quel domaine. Donc, c'est-à-dire, la plateforme, elle est faite pour nous tous et qu'on doit s'approprier de cette plateforme et l'utiliser en bon échelon. Aussi, toute plateforme, il faut l'actualiser chaque fois. Donc, il faut que même les participants qu'ils aient la possibilité, qu'ils contribuent aussi à la mise à jour de cette plateforme.
Update of this platform so that it can stay updated and it becomes more popular. And so this will help us to improve it over the years and we will benefit more from it. It's very good. And the Solar City Simulator also will help us develop our cities from solar rooftops, and this will help us improving our energy mix and to overcome this bottleneck that we are facing now. So we need to improve the energy mix in our countries and the renewable energies. So this platform will allow us to improve our energy mix based on renewable energy. So that's my call to you. You need to own it more. You need to use it more. And that's all from me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Suleiman.
Yes, thank you. So I think one of the key take-home message is that, okay, we know that there are key challenges for the energy sector related to all the elements that we have mentioned: production, distribution, consumption, and all of those have implications on the economy, on society, on the environment. And the energy transition is complex. It's complex, it's costly, it needs data, and it needs initiatives like the one that IRENA is leading. It is important to tackle this complex task by looking at from many different aspects, from the energy security, the energy efficiency, the policy framework. So in summary, I mean, the question is how to transition to a new energy system, but at the same time ensuring stable, affordable energy supply and access. And I think part of the answer is, of course, data. And this is the exercise that you're doing, providing a platform where you can offer the different data that exist and putting them and making them available. And of course, data have to be, again, quality, have to be reliable, have to be updated, open access, operational as much as possible. And also another element is that those data should be continuous. The information, the quality and the continuity of the information across the policy cycle is important for, in a policy context, for developing policy frameworks, having this continuity, covering this entire renewable development cycle planning is absolutely essential. So my suggestion again is to make use of the best of the data that are around. You have many examples there, so take a look at all the Copernicus products, for example, that were also mentioned by Stefano before, coming from the many different services, the many different satellites. And again, I've seen also in the questions, there are several people are interested, for example, about having information about tides and waves, and all of those are indeed available today. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Chiara. And really, I think the point on the policy and sort of enabling measures is pretty essential indeed. And how to connect it to that is the same, which is what you're trying to do in your and the report that I saw in collaboration with us. And that's definitely really extremely important. Thank you. Stefano, same question.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I would say the first take-home message is congratulations. This is really an excellent product, the Global Atlas. I think all of us can see really the value in it from our different perspectives. And I'm sure that the end users will really appreciate it, both from a policy perspective and from the industry perspective. So also the ones that actually need to plan the operations, the installation, and the activities in the field. The second take-home message is that we, as ESA, we are on your side. both providing data from the existing satellites. For all the satellites that we design and build, we have an open, free, and full data policy. It's not only Copernicus, it is also for our Earth Explorer scientific missions. So we will continue this on your side, and we are really glad to support this energy transition. And the third message is that we are really open to also new ways of exploiting renewables around the world on a global scale. So also new technologies or more efficient renewable production of existing technology is really our focus. And that's why we would like to design together with you the renewable landscape of the future. New satellites, new data in situ from satellite, from different operational sources are really our focus. And therefore, we are working a lot with industries, renewable energy industries, towards interoperability of this data, and also involving the users in our, let's say, co-creation processes when we design these future systems. So we want to build the future of renewable energy together. That's, I would say, my concluding remarks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you for the collaboration. I guess we can agree that the Global Atlas has supported, is supporting renewable energy transitions. We've looked at the collaboration and the potentially further collaboration between CNR, ISA, ECM, WF and IRENA. And thank you for the points regarding, you know, the further development of the Global Atlas, but also how it can be improved, and for the messages of support that you have provided in terms of the new functionalities, etc. I think for us, what is important is really that it's a free online tool. And in that sense, we hope it continues to be instrumental in making data available to the global community. As I said, the latest functionalities in the Global Atlas 4.1 is really trying to provide, to showcase or to estimate investment opportunities. And thanks very much for also these meteorological data sets that really benefit countries, investors, and renewable energy developers, as was mentioned for the case of Mali, but we have many other cases that we worked on. And finally, maybe to highlight the key role of the public and private data providers, and the key role that they play in accelerating renewable energy development through the Global Atlas platform. I would really like to encourage countries to contact IRENA, and I think you have the email that was displayed earlier on, but you can display it again. Maybe to look at the services that the platform provides and send your requests. I can't thank the panelists enough for being with us, for having supported us for many years, and I hope that the collaboration will continue to be mutually beneficial, and most importantly, continue to support the energy transitions. Again, thank you once more to the team at IRENA, with Iman Rabouche in the lead, and good luck in continuing to make this great difference as far as this part of the renewable energy sector and the energy transition is concerned. And thank you to the audience for being with us for